Greetings and welcome to a quick overview on how to use GitHub Classroom and GitHub Desktop to clone and commit your coding assignments. If an assignment contains code, which will be most of them, there will be in the instructions section of the assignment a link to the GitHub Classroom containing that particular assignment. Now, for the first assignment, this GitHub review assignment, which does need to be completed before anything else, you will need to select your name. Make sure that when you select your name, that you are on the correct name. It's not a big deal if you select the wrong one, just please let me know so I can get it corrected ASAP. You will only have to do that step once. Otherwise, normally, after you click on the link, you will come to this page here where you can accept the assignment. Upon clicking on accept, it will think for a few seconds. And then you will see this page saying that you are ready to go. I would strongly recommend that you right-click copy link on the link that is displayed here, because that will be the fastest and easiest way to clone your repository when we get to GitHub Desktop. Switching over to GitHub Desktop, you're going to go to File, Clone Repository. By default, it's going to show you all the repositories associated with your account. This may or may not be practical for you to scroll through to select, depending on how many repositories you have. I personally prefer to use the URL version, where I can paste in the URL of the repository and check it out that way. It will assign a path to it automatically. Remember that repositories must be checked out to an empty directory. So if this clone button is not available, most likely you will have an error message here complaining about the directory not being empty. So just make sure that it's being checked out to either an empty directory or a directory that does not exist yet. Upon clicking clone, it will take a moment to pull the files down, which should go relatively fast. Now, there's a couple of different screens you might see. One screen that you might see is this one, where it's warning you that it's potentially unsafe. If you see this screen, it is safe to click on Trust Repository, because yes, these repositories are safe. The other screen that you might see, which I typically don't since I am the owner of all of these, is a screen asking you, how do you want to use this repository? You will always want to select the bottom answer, which should say personal use. So if it asks you, how do you want to use this repository, always select personal use, which should be the bottom option. Upon getting the repository checked out, you will now be on this page here, and it should show the name of the repository in this box right here. Do not click on Open in Visual Studio Code. We are using Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code, so you do not want to click on this button. Instead, an easy way to open the project for the first time is to click on Show in Explorer, which will open the Explorer window, and there will be a solution file here, an SLNX if you have extensions showing, but there will be a solution file here that you can double click on, and will automatically open the solution in Visual Studio Code, at which point you can expand out the projects. In this particular case, there is only the one project. Expand out source file, and then select the file that you want to work on. When you are ready to commit, or you've completed your assignment, so in this particular case, the assignment is to remove the comment line so that when you run your project, it says hello world. Always run your projects before submitting. This does two things. One, it makes sure that you don't have any last-minute bugs that need to be solved. And why are you doing that? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what happened with that little hiccup there, but always run your programs with an F5 to make sure that everything is working as intended. It also has the advantage of saving your file. Once you are done with your assignment, you can close Visual Studio. It's not required, but it's also another good way to ensure that you have everything saved. So I'm going to close Visual Studio, come back to GitHub Desktop. It should show all the files that were changed. In the summary box here, put in your summary of what this change represents. Remember that I will see this, but it's not something that I grade off of. Once you have that in, commit the file. Remember that at this point, I still cannot see it. You have to push origin. Now, at this point, when you see the phrase no local changes, it is complete. You can double check this by clicking on the View on GitHub button, which will open up the repository in GitHub in your web browser, and you can navigate through the solution files to find the code files in question, to look at them, to ensure that the code got pushed correctly. Once you have everything complete and you are certain that you are ready for me to take a look at the project, go back to Blackboard and do a simple text submission. It can be something as simple as done, assignment complete, ready for grading, whatever you want to put in here. But you need to submit here to both let me know that the assignment is ready for grading, and it will also unlock the next module or potentially the next assignment. In the case of the introduction module here, you must complete the GitHub review assignment before the Introduction to C++ assignment will unlock. If you have any problems or questions with GitHub and the whole checkout, check-in, push process, please contact your instructor immediately on Blackboard. Otherwise, good luck with the assignments.